Happy Tip Tuesday, golfers. Welcome to the Kevin Haime Golf Center and my lesson tee here, where me and my team spend most of our time this time of year. And I'll tell you what people want to do in the springtime. They want to figure out how to hit their driver. And the number one thing that people do wrong with their driver is they hit down at the ball instead of hitting up with it. And a lot of that starts with your starting position. My son Jake and I actually did a podcast last week, and we talked about how to set up over the golf ball with a driver. But I'm going to show you a couple little secrets here that you really have to pay attention to, and then I'll show you the mistakes that I see all the time, most common things. The first thing is, of course, the ball isn't far enough forward. To hit the driver on the upswing, we need to have it forward in our stance. Now, the PGA teaching manual will tell us that it needs to be on the front heel. Depends on the shape of your golf swing and your proportions and everything. I don't mind it a little in or a little even forward of your lead heel, but we certainly need to have it far enough forward that we can hit up on it. So let's get the golf ball forward, number one. Number two, when we stand over a driver, because we've got a little bit of a wider stance, and because we want to stay square to the golf ball, we want to get a little bit of tilt in our spine. When I stand over an iron, I've still got a little bit of tilt because my trailing hand is lower than my lead hand on the club, but it's only a couple of degrees. When I stand over a driver, I want 5 to 7 degrees of tilt to make sure that I'm behind the ball and I can be nice and square to swing up on the ball. Really important. So give yourself a little bit of spine tilt. All right, next thing, weight 50-50 or slightly even back. A couple of degrees on that trailing leg isn't even a bad thing. I see way too much of this where golfers lean on that front leg to try to get over the ball because the ball's forward. And of course, that type of spine and that kind of lean will lead to hitting down and across the golf ball. So you don't want to do that. All right, so far we've got spine tilt, we've got ball forward, and we've got weight distribution. The last thing I want to talk to you about is hand position and arm position. When you're hitting a driver, don't feel like you need to put your hands up where the golf ball is. When you do that, a couple of things happen. First of all, that weight sneaks forward again and we lose spine tilt. But the other thing that happens is we open up our alignment. We open up our upper body, which again can lead to down and across slices and pulls. When I stand over a driver, I set the ball forward, I check my weight, I introduce some tilt, and then I keep my hands where they're normally, or where they normally are for an iron, which is just in front of my belt buckle. I keep my hands more centered and back. When I stand over a driver, my lead ear is a good 4 or 5 inches behind the ball, and my top hand is in line with that lead ear. So my hands are more centered like this. Now you'll notice one more thing. Notice how my club isn't right at the ball. It really doesn't matter. I can keep my club back here to keep me centered and in a great setup position. And from this position, it's much easier to wind and hit up on the ball. When I'm working with new players who slice, sometimes I get them to just take little half swings, get some tilt, square up, keep the hands back, and just work on moving through the golf ball like that instead of moving through the golf ball like this. If you work on those few things, spine tilt, ball position, hand position, and weight distribution, you'll hit the ball a lot better. Let's give one a rip here. Here we go. Hands are back, weight centered, tilt is there, nice coil, and out goes the ball.